world over. In fact, if you follow intellectual reflections on democracy, you will see that in Western Europe, there is the ascendance of the far right. In the United States, the Trump surge. All of these are considered part of threats to the traditional views of democracy. In Africa, Nigeria is considered a rise in fascism, actually, where government by propaganda and bullying of people to prevent them from voting is increasingly becoming a norm, the path of fascism. And so when you consider all of those, you have to look at the challenge of the economy in context. And as I've argued, the biggest problem with Nigeria is that Nigeria has not managed to found political parties. We create these election machines for being able to announce yourself president or governor or whatever positions of public authority there are. We don't realize that there is a continuation of outcome in terms of what those bodies do. The Nigerian economy has been traveling south for many years, and everybody who is a part of a political party should take ownership of why it was traveling south. I could tell you without batting an eyelid or without any procrastination 9 years ago that the Buhari government was going to be a tragedy for the Nigerian economy. And I did say so. Even though I was a part of the party that brought him to power, I was part of the writing of the roadmap. But within a few weeks, General Buhari was making comments that were completely contrary to what direction the economy should travel. He had not even inaugurated a cabinet. He was traveling around the world and making statements that I found frightening for the future of the Nigerian economy. At the launching of the Ibadan School of Government and Public Policy, Professor Tunji Olokpa's initiative, but the media asked me questions about this, and I forewarned about the consequence of the comments that he was making, and we have had to live with it. The incumbent who was part of that party was a major pillar. That was when all of us could have rallied to ensure that the party stood on the path that would lead to the strengthening of the economy. But for political reasons, people kept quiet, waiting for their turn, and a mess was made of the economy. So we are all responsible. A complete mess that it is today, that we're trying to reform in one way or the other, sometimes without rigor, creating even more problems. So that's where it is. That's why we should understand the importance of political parties. It is the political parties that should build the stepping stones of how we solve problems, economic and in other realms. And so, yes, the Nigerian economy was managed so poorly that two economists from Columbia University actually said that Nigeria probably would be better off without a government. Having Subramanian and Javier Salah Martin showed from a welfare computation of the use of oil revenues that if we didn't have a government, Nigerians would do much better than how the government was using the resources. And the problem remains today. Look at the way the National Assembly, the presidency, uses Nigeria's resources when people are suffering in the poverty capital of the world, as we have come, unfortunately, to be known. We need to be able to have robust conversations around that. That's what makes for democracy, not civilian rule. Civilian rule is not the same thing as democracy. And so this is the real challenge of now.